Good evening and welcome. You're watching Breaking Views, the only show where we get you all the views so that you get the complete picture. I'm Sanket Upadhyay. Now, through the day, two stories have developed and we are going to focus on both. One is the Congress party internal elections to elect a Congress president. We'll come to that later. But the top focus has been a possible arrest of Delhi Deputy Chief Minister Manish Sisodia. So let's first start by a timeline. What exactly happened through the course of it? 9 a.m. in the morning, Manish Sisodia took his mother's blessing and left his residence. Remember, he had been summoned by the CBI to come and join in the investigation. So 9 o'clock, he left his residence with a tilak and took the blessings of his mother, as you can see right there. At 9:30, he reached the Aam Aadmi Party office on Delhi's Income Tax Office Road, ITO. And you can see that this is a motorcade, a huge show of strength, motorcycle rally being taken out at 9:30. At 9:45, Manish Sisodia did a road show from ITO to Rajghat. Remember, he went to Rajghat to pay his respects to Mahatma Gandhi. That was at 10:45. So he left the office after addressing this huge road show and then reached Rajghat. At 11:15, Manish Sisodia reached the CBI headquarters, and before he did that, he also addressed the gathering at the party office, where he made a statement and said, "Don't worry if I get arrested. Consider it a matter of great pride." At 11:30, Aam Aadmi Party leaders and supporters protested outside the CBI headquarters. They said that their leader is being harassed, and that's why a protest broke out, wearing these yellow bands and holding the India flag. At 1 p.m., Aam Aadmi Party's Sanjay Singh and others were detained by the police, as you can see in these pictures. And then by 3 p.m., that's something which we do not have in this timeline, Arvind Kejriwal decided to go full throttle, where in Gujarat, he decided to bring this issue up among the voters and said, "Jail ke tale tootenge, Manish Sisodia chootenge." Basically saying that Manish Sisodia is going to be arrested. So this repeated stress by the Aam Aadmi Party that Manish Sisodia is going to be arrested. You see, 9 hours plus of questioning has already happened. Aam Aadmi Party is challenging the investigating agency to come and arrest because they want to use or draw political mileage out of this. Now, what exactly is the liquor policy? This is all about the liquor policy case. So let's quickly get you a timeline. So on the 22nd of July, the Lieutenant Governor recommended the CBI probe in the Delhi excise policy. On the 17th of August, the CBI registered a case against Deputy Chief Minister. On the 19th of August, the CBI searched Manish Sisodia's official residence for over 14 hours. On the 22nd of August, the ED filed a money laundering case as far as this excise policy is concerned. On the 29th of the same month, CBI searched Sisodia's bank lockers. On the 6th of September, the Enforcement Directorate stepped in and it carried its pan-India search at 35 locations in the liquor case. On the 16th of September, ED carried out the second big search at 45 different locations. On the 27th of September, Aam Aadmi Party communication in charge Vijay Nair was arrested. On the 7th of October, the Enforcement Directorate carried out its third big search at 35 locations. And today, on the 16th of October, the CBI summoned Deputy Chief Minister Manish Sisodia for questioning, and that questioning continues even now, after 9.5 hours. Now, whether this is a probe or political vendetta against Sisodia, let's take a look at the timeline. Now, since Lieutenant Governor's call for CBI probe, this was since the 22nd of July, what all has happened? 2.5 months and counting, 2 central agencies, 2 raids by the CBI, 115 raids by Enforcement Directorate, if you combine all the 3 dates where those raids took place. It took place in different locations. So if you combine all the raids, it's 115. 1 arrest has been made, that is of the Aam Aadmi Party's communications in charge. So the big question is, will Manish Sisodia be arrested? Or will this become, it's slightly more than just the arrest and just the case. This has become political now, where the Aam Aadmi Party says, come, arrest me. So is this about the 4 Ps? Poll, politics, policy, as well as prison. I would like to introduce our guests this evening. Abhinandita Mathur, Aam Aadmi Party spokesperson, and Ranveer Singh Pathania, BJP spokesperson. Thank you very much. Mr. Pathania, I want to begin with you first. You see, the Aam Aadmi Party has very clearly dared the central agency by saying, you find us guilty, arrest us, then there will be a legal process. You will have to prove the allegations. No. So if you arrest us, then perhaps the Aam Aadmi Party would want to draw political mileage out of this. Arvind Kejriwal is going from one rally to the other, actually suggesting that this arrest is happening. It is going to happen. Mr. Pathania, are you rock solid? Are the agencies rock solid on their facts in this case?
Sanket, one thing which is very as clear as day, that politics and law, they are two separate things. We have seen in what you were telling the entire chronology of events after the grant of assent by the Lieutenant Governor, but what we saw today, it shamed the people, it shamed the people's mandate, and it shamed the politics in the national capital. Histrionics at its best are what we could call pure gimmickry, and if gimmickry would have been able to solve the issues, India by now would have turned into a happy oasis of a state. You see, what are the gamut of charges against? If you kindly see the questionnaire, if I am allowed to read out on your channel that Mr. Sisodia, this is India Today, which is leveling this, which is airing this questionnaire which is given to Mr. Manish Sisodia. Mr. Manish Sisodia, what contact do you have? What contact do you have with Mr. Vijay Nair? Out of the 12% mark, the profit 6% has gone to the government officials also. So there's a tacit link. Though I am not the spokesperson of the CBI, CBI is as neutral an organization, as autonomous an organization as it should be. Now we will land into another debate to make it further autonomous or not. That's a national issue. But my point is, what is the logic behind questioning institutions? They are questioning ED. They question Election Commission of India. They question the Honorable Supreme Court. Now they are questioning the neutrality of the Central Bureau of Investigation. Would crimes be? Would what I could say that would examinations and cross-examinations be done on the streets of New Delhi? So this is pure politics. This is cheap politics and cheap histrionics. This is what I said. The people of India and people of particularly Delhi have come to know that but for indulging in cheap gimmickry, cheap histrionics, Aam Aadmi Party could not do anything. And another shameful.
Yeah.
Arvind Kejriwal ji jail ke tale tutengi. Does a chief minister? And I think this has itself belittled the institution of a chief minister, that even of a national capital. Could a chief minister use such a language? This is not a language which is being used by a terrorist organization of, we could say, Kashmir or we could say Northeast, jail ke tale tutengi. How could we come to say? So let us focus ourselves to the pitch and substance of the level of allegations and counter allegations.
No, I'll come to that in just a short moment. But Ms. Abhinandita Mathur, how do you respond? You see, my question is, one is of course a political allegation and a counter allegation between you and the BJP. The other is you turning this, or by you I mean your party, turning this into some sort of an apada mein avsar, that there is a challenge. You have converted this into a sort of an opportunity. कि मनीष सिसोदिया की गिरफ्तारी होगी, उनकी शहादत में क्या आपको सत्ता दिख रही है गुजरात की?
Good evening.
Good evening.
Okay, there are a couple of points that I'd like to make. One is the political context in which this is happening, and a lot other things are happening. And the other is that, we stand by our belief that, and we stand by a statement that all these cases about the liquor policy that the BJP is accusing the Aam Aadmi Party of are false. We completely deny the allegations. However, the matter is, in courts and with CBI at the moment, and we respect that. We're open to investigations. All our leaders have been cooperating, and we'll continue to do so. That is one. The other is that, we find it very hard to believe that the problem that the BJP has with this is corruption or, liquor policy and so on, because they don't show that commitment anywhere else. I mean, they have similar policies in Karnataka and in other states where, where they are ruling. And there are very serious allegations against the MCD in corruption. However, the BJP or the LG does not take any action there. So obviously this selective outrage or this selective consciousness, reeks of vendetta, and we strongly believe. What is happening, however, is that, as it is for everyone to see, and I don't know how connected BJP is on the ground at the moment, but the Aam Aadmi Party has emerged as a voice of the common people. In Gujarat or like anywhere else in the country, people are able to resonate with, one, the problems that we're raising, and two, they believe that, we are the right party to provide solutions. In Gujarat, in, whatever, so to speak, the gut of the BJP, at the moment, there is a lot of political anxiety, and we fully believes that as, we go along, if obviously Mr. Manish Sisodia personifies what the Aam Aadmi Party is delivering and what it stands for. So, if an education minister is going to be so good, BJP obviously is, insecure about that and is doing this vendetta, and we strongly believe in this.
Okay, so we are hearing that the arrest may not happen today, as the Aam Aadmi Party is saying, and there is movement happening at the CBI headquarters where Manish Sisodia will be coming out. Now, what will he say once he comes out? Because through the day, the Aam Aadmi Party has said that he is getting arrested. In fact, Manish Sisodia himself said that he will get arrested. Aam Aadmi Party's leader, Arvind Kejriwal, declared this in Gujarat. What is Manish Sisodia going to say? And is this arrest inevitable, or is this also, as we said, a sort of a crisis turned into an opportunity for the Aam Aadmi Party? In just a short moment, we'll be going over. Thank you very much to our two guests this evening. I believe we have Arvind Gunasekaran now with us. Arvind, if you can hear me, can you show us the pictures, what exactly is happening, and tell us what you have learned? This is 9 hours plus of questioning. Do we know the line of questioning?
Sanket, after 9 hours of questioning, Manish Sisodia has just left the CBI headquarters. He has left the CBI headquarters just few minutes back, and what we are learning from our sources that the agency has not issued any new summons. That's the information we have got from our sources. The agency will be taking some time to go through the statements and the answers that he has given for the questions that the agency has asked, and then only after the examination of this particular statement, the agency will be issuing any kind of fresh summons. So that means Manish Sisodia has not been summoned tomorrow or day after tomorrow. No new summons have been issued by the Central Bureau of Investigation to Manish Sisodia. So after 9 hours of questioning, Manish Sisodia has left the agency, and what our sources are saying is that he was asked mostly about the framing of this particular policy, whether the Delhi liquor policy was tweaked in order to benefit any of the liquor companies, and also regarding the allegation that post-facto cabinet clearance was given to this particular policy. So these were the broader aspects that were covered in today's questioning, and the agency sources say that he would be called for questioning some other time, but as of this moment, no new summons have been issued to Manish Sisodia.
Yes, Arvind, if you could, so we are getting these pictures. We can see Manish Sisodia now leaving the CBI headquarters after 9 hours of questioning. Just wanted to ask that question once again on what was the line of questioning. You're saying one still does not know when is he going to be summoned next. Also, this whole day the Aam Aadmi Party went to town saying that he's going to be arrested. What are you learning from your sources?
Yeah, Sanket, like I said earlier, 4 broader aspects were covered in this investigation, at least today's session. One, mainly on how was this policy framed, and were there any tweaks in the policy, the original policy, that were done in order to benefit any of the liquor companies, whether any liquor companies influenced this entire policy, and also regarding the allegation about the policy was not placed before the cabinet before it was implemented, and only post facto cabinet clearance was given to this policy, and also regarding the fee waiver to this entire companies. Those were the broader aspects that were asked by the Central Bureau of Investigation. Again, this line of questioning that they won't, none of the agencies will in fact reveal it just like that. Only at the at the time of filing of charge sheet or filing of remand copy, we'll get to know on record. But as of this moment, what we are learning from our sources that these are the subjects that were covered in today's questioning.
Right. Thank you very much, Arvind Gunasekar, for getting us all the latest details. So 9 hours of questioning today. Next date will be known soon, but no summon has been issued so far for a future audience with the Deputy Chief Minister. Thank you very much. We're in fact moving out of the story and shifting to the other big story that we are tracking right here all day, the election to the post of the Congress president. So the big question is, will the new president work with or work for the Gandhis? I pose these and many more questions to Mr. P. Chidambaram in this exclusive interview because he was the first one to vote today. Let's listen into this conversation. So elections to the post of the Congress president is now over. The election process is over. The voting is over and the counting is going to take place in a few days from now. But apart from being the former finance minister, there is another achievement that we would like to talk about here as we introduce Mr. P. Chidambaram. You were the first voter today.
I believe so. I was there at 9:45, and when the voting opened at 10 o'clock, the election authority said you can vote. We were 3 of us there, so I voted first.
What does this mean, this whole process mean, Mr. Chidambaram?
See, this process, according to me, means that we are opening up the party to new people. I'm not so concerned about the voting for the Congress president, but eventually I think this will percolate down to voting for the working committee, voting for the PCC president, and voting for the DCC president and the bloc president. I think if this percolates down to voting at the lowest unit, namely the bloc Congress committee, that will open up the party to a large number of new people to join the party.
Now, there is one criticism that often comes the way of the Congress party, and that is you carry out whatever exercise in a party democracy, elections. Ultimately, the decision is going to rest at the doorstep of 10 Janpath or the Gandhi family.
No, this is a stock criticism. The Gandhis have made it clear that they have no official candidate and anybody can contest. Let's assume that this first election, the Gandhis will still have a great degree of influence in the running of the party at the national level. But when it percolates down, are you suggesting that the Gandhis or whoever of the Gandhi family will have an influence over the bloc committee decision or the district committee decision? So I'm looking at it from a longer term. This is the beginning, and I hope that the new Congress president will ensure that all future committees are constituted through elections.
Mr. Chidambaram, how does this process help, say, a party as old as the Congress party? Because we see that no other party has held elections for the post of the president. Even the Congress party is holding it after 22 years, more than 2 decades.
No other party will, because the way of functioning political parties in this country is to forge consensus. We've had, according to some report, 6 elections in the last several decades. I think the most famous one was between Pattabhi Sitaramaiah and Subhash Chandra Bose. Now, therefore, it has captured the imagination of the media, of the people, that the Congress party is holding an election. But no other party can utter a word of criticism against the Congress party because no other party holds an election. Therefore, we have made a beginning. I'm not saying this is perfect. Nobody says this is perfect. But this is a good beginning, and this will percolate, I hope.
Now, Mr. Chidambaram, in the case of these 2 candidates, both very able, they both congratulated one another also this morning. But again, there is an allegation that one person is a more of a Sarkari candidate with the backing of the top leadership, and the other is doing his own thing. to be a contender?
See, we are not in Sarkar, so why do you call us?
No, Sarkari in the sense
yeah.
with the backing and the blessing of the.
No,
of the
that
leadership.
is imputed. That is suggested. I won't comment on that. But clearly, the overwhelming majority of the top leaders of the party at the national level and the state level did support Mr. Kharge. I think Mr. Tharoor is aware of that. Yet, I congratulate him for not withdrawing his candidature and contesting and seeing it through until the last vote.
Now, Mr. Chidambaram, you see, let's say, for instance, one of these people, I don't know the result, but come counting day, one person is elected the new Congress president. Do you think that the people in the party and all those who seek a decision would treat the decision of the Congress president as final? Or will they again look at the Gandhis to be, that sort of a supreme court in their life? That some decision can be taken by someone, but the supreme leader's decision will be final.
See, this is again assuming that there are only major cataclysmic decisions to be taken. There are a number of routine decisions that have to be taken. For example, people have completed 3 years or 5 years in a post. A decision has to be taken whether the block committee president or the district committee president will be replaced. I have pending requests. There are disciplinary actions which are pending against people who voted or worked against the official candidate in the last parliament election and the last assembly election. Those decisions are held up today because there is no one sitting in the office and looking at it in an administrative sense. So I think whoever wins, I know who will win, but be that as it may. Whoever wins, I hope that 90-95% of the administrative managerial decisions will all be taken in time under the authority of the Congress president. Yes, of course, the major decisions would have to involve other leaders, the Congress Working Committee, if there is a parliamentary board, the Congress Parliamentary Board, and in which the Gandhis will surely be represented. How can you imagine that the Gandhis post today will vanish from the Congress Working Committee or the Parliamentary Board if one is constituted? The Gandhis will be there, and I think that is the right thing to do. The Gandhis will have a view, and I think the new Congress president must take into account their views.
But Mr. Chidambaram, see, one thing is for them to have a view, and the other is to be to exert that view and be exacting about it.
This is a suspicion.
Yeah.
This is a suspicion. You are suspecting the word of the Gandhis. I don't. I accept it at face value. They said, whoever is the Congress president, we are willing to work with him.
And you are pretty sure it's not going to be the other way around, that whoever is the Congress president will have to work with the Gandhis.
He has to work with the Gandhis. He has to work with the state leaders. See, for example, let me tell you. Let me give you an example. Suppose he is taking a decision on Karnataka. Can he ignore the views of Siddaramaiah ji and D.K. Shivakumar ji? He can't. If you're taking a decision about Madhya Pradesh, whether they are in the working committee or parliamentary board, can you ignore the views of Digvijay Singh ji and Kamal Nath ji? So I think you have to treat the matter as a major change that has happened after, as I said, 22 years. But it's a welcome change, and I'm sure the new Congress president will learn to work with everybody, and everybody else will learn to work with him.
How many times have you voted in this internal democratic process?
You see, I voted when Indira Gandhi was challenged way back. But in the next two elections, you remember, Mr. Moopanar had formed his own TMC.
Correct.
So between 1996
Tamil Manila
and
Congress.
Tamil Manila Congress, between 1996 and I think 2001 or 2, there were two elections. So I didn't vote there, but although we called ourselves Tamil Manila Congress, I mean, nobody considered ourselves as a rebel outfit. We were rebelling only against Mr. Narasimha Rao. So I was watching it closely. But I have voted in the election which Indira Gandhi contested, and somebody contested against her.